Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Ross.
And I'm JC. Thanks for tuning in to the Veteran Happy Hour.
What's going on, everybody? I'm your boy Jay Ross.
And I'm JC.
Together we are the host of the Veteran Happy Hour. So today
we have a special guest. We're actually our first part of our first show.
Yeah, so this segment right here is called Internal Wounds, Fighting the Battle Within. This is, like I said, this is going to be a brand new segment for us. So, this is where we talk to veterans that's living out there with PTSD, MST, and all that. If they feel comfortable coming on to the show and they want to talk about it, by all means, hey, if you guys want to be a guest, come on and be a guest of this series. Just contact us on Facebook, the Veteran Happy Hour. Just shoot us a message and we'll be in brief contact with you. Okay? So,
all right.
First, JC, man, let's go, brother.
Let's give the floor to our lovely guest. You want to go ahead and start? How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me on. My name is Annette, and I am a Army retired veteran of over 17 years.
Nice.
Mom to 2 teens, and a military spouse of over 22 years.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So, we understand you do podcasting and blogging as well?
I do. So I am the founder of a website called A Wild Ride Called Life.
Okay.
And a podcast called The Truths We Hide.
Okay. So, those links will be in the description, and JC is going to be editing this video, so he's going to put those. This is going to pop up on
I'll go ahead and put it on the screen.
Yeah, I'm putting him to work today. Okay. So, how long have you been podcasting and blogging?
So the blog started around 2016, and podcasting last October. So just under a year.
Nice.
So how's that working out for you?
It's actually it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's really, I can't even describe the words. It's to hear the people's stories of the battles that they have overcome and that they fought, and then to see where they are at now in life is overwhelming. It's heartwarming. It's all the feelings in one. Each podcast episode is so different. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. So what are some of the topics that you cover?
So I definitely talk about mental health.
One of the big ones.
I talk about the stigma and how I, for one, held everything in for so many years, for decades, because I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be seen as weak, especially since I was in the Army. As an officer, to be seen as a female who let her emotions take over was not something that I wanted people to know. And to lose my clearance, that was huge for me.
Yeah.
So I just kept it all in, tried to soldier on every single day.
So how does podcasting and blogging help you? Like, how does it make you feel after you have done something, or after helping somebody out, or helping people put their stories out there?
So the reason why I started it in the beginning was because I'm a suicide attempt survivor a few times, and writing actually saved my life. Writing and just using my voice to share my story. And once I started talking to other people and realizing that I wasn't the only one feeling this way, that I needed to do something about it. So sharing my story and having others share theirs in the space that I've created is definitely life-changing.
And you know what? I actually want to commend you for coming forward and doing that, because there are a lot of veterans out there that just sit back and just hold that in. And like I said, it's just because I think most of them just feel like they don't have anybody to turn to, or they think that they'll be labeled weak type thing. So I say, ladies and gentlemen, you guys need to put your pride aside, because mental health is one of the most important things. I wouldn't even say just for people in the military. That mental health is important for everybody out there.
Yeah, you just gotta get things out your chest to make you feel better. Don't feel like you can't talk to anybody. There's always somebody out there that wants to hear your story and that's willing to help you out.
And there's always somebody out there that's possibly going through the very same things that you are, and they overcame it. And they could give you ways of how they overcame it that could possibly help you. So contact somebody or contact
Contact
her.
her.
Contact her, you know?
I think really quick, that's one of the things about the podcast. In the beginning, it was the veteran community, but then I've had more people, I don't want to say normal people, but any random person off the street, you don't realize what they're going through. So now the podcast is not just for veterans, not just for military, it's for everybody, because you don't even know what that person is going through.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So you did mention that you did deal with PTSD. What has been your experience with PTSD?
So I didn't really understand what it was until I retired, because I think I suppressed everything over the years. So, you know, my anger issues, my rages, my depressive episodes, all of that just consumed me to the point where my kids were like, what is wrong with her? And I realized that now that they're teenagers, I had to be present. I had to open up my eyes to the fact that it wasn't just all about me. It was the people around me that I was affecting. And we don't see that, because you're in the military and you every day is, you know, you're getting up, you're doing the thing, you have a routine. So once you're done, you don't know what the heck you're doing with it. It's like, what the hell is this? Why am I freaking wanting to kick everybody's ass? You know, why do I want to, like, this outrage? And so that's why I think I'm not ashamed to speak about it anymore, and I chose to live with it instead of suffer from it, because it was going to take over.
And you know something, I think the military overall is a little bit contradictory. You know, I'm not trying to talk down on the military, because like I said, we all are veterans. We've been, you know, the boot camp and all that. But it's like, you know, in boot camp and all this, they try to mold you into this tough soldier or military service member, you know, and they try to, you know, just pound your head into just, hey, be tough, this and that, uphold the image. But, you know, at the same time, I think that's why some people like hold it in, because it's like, well, you know, the military has been structuring me to just be tough, this and that. So I do think that's why, like, a lot of people hold it in. But then at the same time, you know, they tell you guys, oh, well, you know, here are the sources that you can reach out to, but people don't ever really like take those sources into consideration, because, like I said, I think they just have that in their mind. They're supposed to be tough and uphold this image, you know, of, you know, whatever branch they're in, so they don't ever want to reach out to anybody. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you got to put that pride to the side.
Well, you got to think about it too, you know, when somebody doesn't want to be labeled, we, like, that one person in the unit, and you know how the military is, how higher ups are, they're going to make fun of you for going somewhere.
Exactly.
That's literally what that person doesn't want to get bothered by people, doesn't want to get labeled as weak, and he just wants to hold it in because he doesn't want to put it out there.
And also because, like, you know, they don't really want everybody to know their business. But so when I was stationed in California, you know, we had quite a bit of Marines that went to mental health, but our command was like, oh, you know, to have a NCO is going to take the troops to their appointments, because it got to the point where, you know, sometimes the troops would go to their appointments and they would never come back. They'd be gone for like the whole day. So our command started implementing, hey, you know, your NCO is going to go with you. Now, some of those NCOs shouldn't have been NCOs, so they like to, you know, instead of keeping it like confidential, they be like, oh, you know, they come back, spread the rumors. Oh, I had to take so-and-so down there to Lake O'Neill mental health. And I'm just like, yo, like, don't be putting somebody's business out there.
Yeah, I think, just to caveat off that, I think it needs to stop. It needs to start from the top. The leaders need to, you know, those leaders, they're dealing with crap too, and they need to just come up and be straight up and say, look, I deal with this too. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to want to go for help, because we just don't hear those things from our leaders. And for example, I interviewed a general officer last month, and he spoke openly about depression. And I was like, man, sir, I have so much respect for you, because you were willing to say something.
Mm-hmm.
We need more people to say something, to say that it's okay, and not be talking crap about your soldiers. You don't do that. So yeah, I think it needs to start from the top.
And it's like, I realize you know, because most of those staff NCOs, like, they have an image to uphold. And, you know, especially if they are like your superiors, like you directly work for them, they're in your chain of command. And it's like, you know, they could be dealing with something, have an episode at work and just take it out on everybody below. Like, oh, you guys are staying until 2000, 2200 just because I feel like, like, well, you got a wife and kid, go home.
That's literally what we used to say back when I was in there. Like, there was this one staff NCO who would not leave the shop. Like, dude, do you not have a family? I knew because he was mad, everybody else had to pay for it. And that is probably one of the main reasons why I got out. I was like, dude, I'm not dealing with this. Just because somebody feels like he wants to hold somebody until whatever time it is. Now because of that, now I gotta stay. And I'm not getting paid overtime, you know? And it's like, I was just like, no.
Hey, I feel you on that, brother. I had a couple of situations like that myself. But now how do you cope with PTSD? Right?
So I'm more open about it, so I talk about it, and I think going through my own self-healing journey and being open and sharing and helping others, I think that's really what's helped. And, you know, just raising my hand and saying I'm not ashamed to say anything anymore. That's just such a weight off my back. It's ridiculous because you hold on to that for so long, it breaks you.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to tell people, you know, anyone, that there are people out there. We want to help you. There's no judgment. There's, you know, I've had complete strangers reach out to me on my website or on Instagram and Facebook that just need someone to listen. And I think that's what's helped me, is surrounding myself by positive people. All these years, you surround yourself by whoever.
Yep.
But I think now that I'm in my late 40s, I'm like, nope, I don't have time for this shit anymore.
Nope, not at all.
No, you need to find your tribe and you need to stick with them. And it's okay to take people out of your life if they are not serving you in a positive way. It's really okay.
Correct. So what are some symptoms of PTSD if somebody wants to know they might have it or they might not, and they don't want to go to the doctor, which they should?
Yeah.
But what are some symptoms the common symptoms that somebody notices?
I think the anger, the outrages out of nowhere, just, you know, that, and triggers like if it deals with sexual trauma, of course, it's going to be dependent on that. It depends on the situation. The symptoms, I feel, because I've been sexually harassed in the military, and so that's a different trigger. I was in a car accident, that's a different trigger. So PTSD it comes in all forms. It just depends, really. But, you know, seeking therapy is not a bad thing. It really isn't. It's so important to say that, because for many years was like, I don't need to talk to anybody, I'm good. I can do this all on my own.
Mm-hmm. So do you also deal with anxiety as well? So could you tell us, you know, what are the most like common symptoms of anxiety?
For me, it's just that tightening in your chest, that like you feel like you're gonna blow up. It's just, and your breathing starts being very rapid, and, you know, just being anxious and not knowing what to do and not knowing where to go to next. I think it's just comes in various forms, and I think we just need to learn to, you know, take a deep breath, take a step back, and walk away from whatever we're feeling at that moment. Just know that, you know, it's okay to take that time if you're whatever you're working on, and just step away.
Exactly.
So, well, if somebody has anxiety, or they might think that they do, what are some treatments or like something that you would advise them to do when they have anxiety attacks or something like that?
I think you need to remember what are the little things that make you happy. For me, it was writing or music. Once I turn on a song, it's just like everything is calm again. Everything goes away. So I think you need to dig deep and figure out what are those little things that put you in your happy place, that you can go back to and do that. Go back and do that. And, you know, don't forget to remember to implement self-care.
All right. and I want to ask you this: if, in your opinion, do you think those, there's certain medications that they prescribe for anxiety? There's specific ones that they give you to take as emergency because you're having a bad anxiety attack. What do you think of those medications, or what is your opinion?
I don't think everybody needs to take medication. I don't think that it always solves the problem. I think it might be a quick fix. I do believe that there are other ways to fix anxiety. We just need to find those and work on those first. I just don't really believe anymore that, here, take this pill really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in our mind, and we just haven't found the answer. So I really don't believe in all of that all the time.
You think another reason too why some of the service members might not want to come forward with their problems, because they might feel like the VA might just try to just medicate them up and just try to just like hope that solves their problem. Just kind of like going through the motions a little bit kind of thing, because I deal with I have anxiety and depression as well, and the VA prescribed me sertraline for my depression, and I ain't gonna lie, man, that medication started, I don't know, it just started making me like jittery. I just started having like mood swings, man, and sometimes when I take it, I don't know, like it made me drowsy, like super lazy. I didn't want to do like anything. And I told them about it. They cut my dosage down, but I still take it daily. And I mean, honestly, it helps. But I just feel like at times they just try to like just give me different. Yeah.
Because they did the same thing to me, but I had like the same symptoms where I was feeling like shit all day, feeling nauseous, and I told them, and they threw me actually a higher dosage, a different one. That made me worse. Like I took it for 3 days, and I was just like feeling worse than the sertraline side effects, and it was just bad. So I called them, the psychiatrist or like the social worker. She was just like, just go back to sertraline, and then we'll see how that works. And it's just like the VA just throws it as a Band-Aid. Yeah, so just go ahead and throw that on there.
Either it's a hit or a miss.
Yeah.
If that don't work, we got a couple other prescriptions we can throw you. Hopefully one of them will work. I mean, I ain't trying to talk down on the VA. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure, they're in their standard operating procedure, but I don't know. I just feel like, I ain't even gonna speak on that.
It's a whole other topic.
Yeah. So, we understand, you deal with depression as well. While we're on that topic, what are some of the common symptoms of depression or either some common symptoms that you yourself deal with?
I know for me, when I hit rock bottom, I didn't want to deal with anybody. I wouldn't even leave the house. I would rather watch Netflix all damn day. And I didn't want to deal with anything. And my patience level was 0. I just couldn't. I didn't want to talk to anybody. So I think those are some of the things that I've seen. I'm sad to say that my kids went through that too. My daughter would not leave her apartment for days. My son, he would just sit in the basement, and those are just some of the things that I've seen that, sometimes we just get in that funk that we can't get out of.
Since you mentioned that your kids do deal with that as well, do you think it's something that depression might be genetic?
I don't know. I'm starting to think that it might be, but because we have decided to be so open about it, we talk through it. So when she gets like that, we will talk through it. And when he gets like that, and it's hard because my son's 17, so for him to talk at all is it's a whole other ballgame. But, I don't know, but they're not on medication. So, I don't think that it needs to be that way, but like you said, that's a whole other topic. Medication is just, yeah. But to answer your question, no, I don't know. I don't know if it's genetic or not, but we're trying to deal with it the best way that we can.
Yeah, and it's actually good that you all are there for each other, and anytime you have a depressive episode, you all talk to each other. Because like I said, sometimes medication is not like the best thing to turn to. I feel like if you really have somebody that's really there for you, if you have a strong support system, they can possibly help you get over any of the depressive symptoms that you're having. All it takes is just for like somebody to care, and be there for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember like your first depressive episode?
Oh gosh, it started. My first one started when I was 16, but I didn't really, we didn't talk about it, so it was kind of one of those things that you just moved on. But I think I really noticed it when I was in the military, and I missed my daughter's 10th birthday. I locked myself in the house. I had a gun, and it was just, I was done with life. And, luckily my husband took it away, but I didn't know how to communicate what was wrong with me. And instead of trying to say, I don't feel okay, I just lashed out and said, you don't understand, or I don't know what's wrong, or just leave me alone. So, and that was 2010.
So, what are some treatments for depression that you can recommend for those that's watching right now? Like, what are some things that you would recommend, or some sources that you know off the top of your head, military or civilian side?
I think the first thing we need to do is recognize that, okay, we there's something wrong. I'm not feeling it, but that it's okay to not feel that, because I think we don't give ourselves enough grace, and we are so hard on ourselves that we get angry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be sad in that moment, but make sure, the next day you start over. But one of the resources that I have found for military families is the Stephen A. Cohen Foundation. They have been amazing. They do teletherapy. They don't give you any grief. You don't feel like you're being judged there. And so aside from the VA, aside from the military family clinics, this is completely separate, and I think that I always try to give them a shout out because they're amazing people.
I'll go ahead and post it down in the link down below in the description.
And put the pop up on this video as well.
Right.
Can't forget about that, brother. I'm putting you to work. Yeah. Yes.
All right, so you mentioned that you did deal with trauma. Do you feel comfortable sharing with some of the traumas that you struggle with?
Sure. Yes.
What led to your first trauma event?
The first one, I was actually a cadet. So I went through ROTC, the Reserve Officer Training Corps, through my university at Arizona State, and I went overseas for training, and I was assaulted by I think he was a specialist or a corporal, I don't know. I was just a cadet, so I didn't have a rank. And me trying to fit in, I was with an airborne unit, so I was trying to fit in. I was trying to seem like I could hang, and it was my first time training with these guys, and he took advantage of the situation, and I was completely just, I didn't know what to do. I reported it to the guy I was shadowing, and I left early, and I was so ashamed and embarrassed, and I felt like a failure because I had to leave training early to come back to the States. So on my way back, I had found out that my senior NCO was in the same area, and I went to him for I needed someone to talk to. I didn't know what to do about this situation, and then he took advantage of the situation as well, and I was like, what?
You feel like you can't trust
I
nobody.
was like, you know, and so I went, I came back to the States. I talked to somebody about it, but you know, it's no one can believe it because he was the sergeant major, and there's no way, and so kind of just died out. You know, it's like nothing was able to get done.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Cause I feel like some people might not come forward because most of the time, like it might involve somebody in their chain of command. And if that person is like of higher rank, you know, they don't really like wanna come forward with something because they'll be like, oh well, you know, they're not gonna believe me type thing. So like, cause so when I was on Cherry Point, we had a one of our Marines. She was the only female in the shop. She was down in the smoke pit, and one of these guys, I think he was about to get out. He was about to get out in a couple of days. I can't remember if it was like a sergeant or a staff sergeant or something, but he assaulted her in the smoke pit. Now, she went to her NCOIC because me and him were the only corporals in the shop. But the way how our gunny had it, you know, he divvied up the Marines. But she went to him and told him that, you know, she was assaulted in a smoke pit. It was other people around it that seen it as well. And he told her, hey, well, look, don't worry about it. Pay that no mind because this guy's about to get out in a couple of days. He's about to be gone. So she went to, yeah, bro, she went to our regimental sergeant major and told him what happened. She said, I went to my NCO. Now, the regimental sergeant, he knew me. So, you know, because we're working in the chow hall, sometimes he would breeze through. You know, I would make him his food, like his omelet, whatever, in the morning. And he knew she was one of my Marines. So, when I tell you, I got called to the company and I had to stand in his office, and he was chewing my ass for like a good 10 minutes before I got the opportunity to speak. And I was like, I don't know anything about that. Other she must have told her NCOIC, and tell you that NCO he got his ass handed to him, bro. But just I say that for this, you know, for anybody that's still in the military, you guys are watching this. If you have any one of your junior service members come up to you and tell you something like that, you guys better take that seriously. Because the way I see, what if that was your sister or your brother that was in that same situation and they was reaching out to somebody for help? Because my sister's in the Air Force, like, and she's stationed all the way up in Illinois, and I wish somebody would do that to her, and she, you know, goes to one of her superiors and tells them, and they don't do nothing about it. Why I had that being with doing 160 on the highway going to Illinois, boy, I ain't playing. So how do you cope with your trauma?
So I continued through the military, and I think I ended up being a hard ass. Like I ended up being a real just piece of work because I wanted to make sure that I could make it through, and it was just not me. That was not me, and so I pretended to be someone else for so long to try to cope with that, and I was always leery about, you know, working with males. But then, you know, I suppressed it, and I had to learn to trust my guys, you know, trust my NCOs, trust my leaders, trust my chain of command, because there was no way out. That was it. Mm-hmm. That's all I had. That's all I could do. So, you know, and like I said, I didn't really come to light fully until I retired, and that's when it all just hit me.
So, what type of advice do you have for anybody that is struggling dealing with any type of trauma, any type of, like, you know, resources or any type of advice that you can give to them?
I think the first thing is not to be afraid to say something. You know, no matter what it is, don't be afraid to say it. No matter if you feel like you're going to be judged or not, this is you. This is your life, not anyone else's. And the longer you hold it in, the longer you're going to explode. And I know that from firsthand experience that I did. And I really shouldn't be here today. But say something, reach out. You've got all of us here. There's people out there that want to hear you. You know, where you have people to vent to that just will listen.
Have you have you been to therapy for your personal struggles, and has that helped you out? And do you recommend going to others to go to therapy?
Yes. So after I told myself for so long that I don't need help, I finally went and got a therapist, and it was through the Stephen A. Cohen Foundation, and it's overwhelming because it's like you've been waiting to say something for so long, but I do recommend it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all.
Okay. So does this organization, what do they specialize? They don't just specialize just in one thing, like treating depression or anything like that. They will treat like any type of like mental health type of disorders.
Yes, they have all different kinds of services. They have different therapists that specialize in different things. They do different types of therapy as well, like EDMR. I forgot what it stands for, but there's different types for different people depending on your situation. So it's not like a one-shot deal. They will actually dig deep to figure out, okay, how we can help you. And so that's what I think I love, is that people are actually digging deep, because you can't, sometimes a certain therapy doesn't help everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's important, is that they're willing to dig deep to figure out how to exactly help you in that situation.
And where is this organization located
at? They're everywhere. They're actually near a lot of military installations, but you can, even if there's one an hour away, you can still do teletherapy. So if you don't want to drive in, you can actually do it through Zoom. My daughter's actually using them now. So you can look them up, and there's a location everywhere.
And even if you are, ladies and gentlemen that's watching, if you do currently have, a counselor, somebody that you're talking to about your depression and your trauma, you can actually request to go to your very own provider. Just got to give the VA that information, and they will set everything up. And I would say stay on top of them about that, because speak up. I sent the VA a message like 2 weeks ago, because I need more medication. The medication for my knee that they've been giving me. Nobody has been. They read it. They read it. They left me on red. But
We'll get to it.
Oh my God, y'all gotta do better, man.
So how do you deal or cope with these personal struggles that you deal with every day, being a mother and a wife?
I learned to communicate. Communication is huge for me, because I was so prideful, and so that's one way I cope with it, is learning to speak about it. And then getting on these types of platforms has helped me as well, because I'm not embarrassed anymore. I'm willing to speak up, and I want to help other people. So I think that's really what helps me, is helping others as well.
I'm trying to think of this one organization that I forgot, but they were in California. I really wish I knew the name of that. You know what? I'm gonna backtrack. I'm gonna look through my files, because I still have some of their the mental health sessions that I went through with them. And JC, I'm gonna give it to you. You put that link in the description as well. Yeah, because they were pretty good. They really helped me, because I was going through a very depressive time in my last year while I was in, because I was was about to get married. While I was still in, I was about to get married. My fiance was pregnant. You know, and I was like forced to go on this deployment. I don't really want to get into that story because I've told you about it. But yeah, like that whole thing that happened and my leadership, you know, how they just like treating me, whatever. You know, I dealt with depression while I was on the deployment. But when I came back, you know, that's when I really decided to get a hold of it. And you know, like, you know, I was going downtown and talking to these people after work, and you know, I think they were pretty good. So I'm gonna give you guys credit. I really wish I could remember, but
You'll remember by the time you get home.
yeah. So what would you suggest to those who want to tell their story but don't know where to start? What are some of the steps that they should take to come forward?
Well, I mean, one step is you can come to me. You know, I've been accepting stories anonymously or reach out to. There's so many Facebook groups now that are really, really great because they have a community of people that are there for each other. But, you know, I think just reaching out to somebody, just that will listen. You know, I think that's the first step, is to just talk. And I think that's so hard for some of us because we're filled with guilt, or we're ashamed, or we're embarrassed, and it's so hard to do that. So that's the first thing to do.
That's some good advice right there.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you would like to add, like last minute advice to anyone struggling with or you know, if there were any type of topics that we didn't hit on while we were doing this interview on you, is there anything that you want to add on last minute?
The one mantra that I heard 2 years ago or so that I live by daily, and what gets me through is, your mess is your message. So if you can make the step to use your voice to tell your story, realize that all that crap that you went through before, use that when you're ready, use that as your message to get it out there to help other people, because you are not the only one, I can guarantee you. So your mess is your message.
You know what? I like that. JC, make that the title of this, because this is going to be episode 1. Your mess is your message. I like that.
It's a good one.
I like that. So, hey, Annette, it's been great having you on today. I really appreciate it that, you know, you took the time out of your day to come on here and, you know, hit on some of these topics, questions that we ask you. So, do you want to tell the people once again what some of your social media handles, where can they find you if they want to get in contact with you?
Yeah, so you could go straight to my website. That'll link you to everything. awildridecalledlife.com.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and put that on the screen.
Okay, and everybody, you can find this podcast. This episode is going to be available like within the next 48 hours, but you guys can search on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, and iHeartRadio. So all you got to do is just search The Veteran Happy Hour, and we're on there. Also, JC, man, what's our other social media handles, brother?
If you guys go ahead and hit the subscribe button right here down below. Click the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we put up a new video, a new episode. And just make sure as you follow on Facebook, The Veteran Happy Hour.
Yeah. Speaking of, hey, brother, how many
Oh, that's right.
how many likes we sitting at right now?
We're actually sitting at 2,300 likes.
What?
2,300.
Dang. We gotta do that giveaway.
We do. We gotta make the video.
I don't know what to give away. Gift card again?
We'll think about it.
Think about it. Oh, God.
But it will be during this week. It will be this week.
Okay. And hey, also, you know, we are starting a little gaming segment, you know, to you know, possibly build like some cohesion, because you know some veterans like to play play video games and stuff like that. So we have the Call of Duty Warzone Regiment. Like I said, you don't got to be a veteran to join this. you just got to be semi-good. I mean, as long as you get 1 kill, is good with me on that. So, you know, just you can drop your PlayStation username, Xbox username, or Activision username somewhere in the description, the comments, and I will add you. I think we got like 20 members right now, but once we get like a lot of people, we're gonna go live on Twitch, man. Send somebody to the group live. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. JC, man, any last things that you want to hit on, man? You got some closing statements or something, brother?
Actually, yeah. So we just restocked on our face masks, on our protective COVID-19 face masks. Those are on sale. If you want to buy one, go ahead and
grab it right there in front of you, right behind you.
The laptop was covering it.
Oh well, okay, that's fair. That's fair. So everybody, it amazed me because we had 20 face masks that we ordered, and they actually sold out in a day. Well, less than a day. Less than a day.
Yeah, we sold out.
100% cotton, and it got the filter on the inside. Show them the filter on the inside, brother. You just showed them the logo.
There's the filter, 100% washable.
Now, man, I don't know where your hands been. Brother, you done grabbed that. He gonna wash it. That's his. Cash at me the $9, brother. That's what you do. Okay.
But yeah.
Right, we wanna. Yeah. So who they gonna cash at? They gonna cash at you?
It don't matter. Just send us a message. We'll get you in contact with you. Make sure you send us your address so we can ship it out.
And we ship via USPS first class mail, so you'll get it in approximately 2 to 3 days. It's going to be in its own protective bag before we, ship it in a little bubble wrap container and all that.
We'll go ahead and isolate for you.
Yeah. Hold on, do what? JC gonna deliver it to your front doorstep. He gonna drive the way you live. Okay, but hey, man, that's it, everybody. I want to thank everybody that downloads and streams our episode on any one of the networks that we're up on. I want to just say thank you to anybody that's liked and subscribed to our YouTube, and also thanks for giving us these likes and all the support.
And a special thanks to Annette for coming today.
Yes.
Thank you so much for obviously, like you said, taking the time out of your day to come see us and share your story with us.
Thank you so much.
No problem. It's our pleasure. I can't even talk. It's our pleasure. Our pleasure. So that's it, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, let us know if you like this series, because we really trying to make an impact on this one, because somebody on one of these episodes is going to help somebody out there that's dealing with something, man.
Correct.
So that's the reason why we try to put this in place. We thinking of y'all, man.
Let us know your thoughts down below, and we'll respond, and we'll take your thoughts in consideration.
Also, let us know how ugly JC is. You know what I'm saying? Whoever got the funniest comment will give $5.
Appreciate
That's it,
y'all.
everybody. We thank you.
Thank
Love
you
you guys.
Thanks.